I wasn't expecting the phone call. It was late, around midnight, and I was finishing up some work on my laptop when my phone buzzed with an unknown number. Normally, I ignore calls like that, but something in my gut told me to pick this one up. "Is this her husband?" a nurse asked. My heart dropped. "Yes." "What happened?" "She's in the ER. You should come right away." My mind spun. Car accident? Illness? Injury? I grabbed my keys and drove to the hospital with the kind of panic that burns through your bones. But nothing prepared me for what I saw when I walked into that emergency room. She was sitting on the hospital bed, wrapped in a blanket, shaking. Not from pain. From fear. And next to her, hidden behind a curtain, was a man I'd never seen before. Shirtless. Pale. Also shaking. The moment I stepped in, she gasped. You didn't have to come." "Didn't have to come?" That was her first reaction. A nurse walked over quietly. "Sir, your wife and her companion were brought in after a situation." "A situation?" I repeated. "What kind of situation?" The nurse hesitated. "They were found unconscious in a parked car at a hiking trail. Both suffered from severe dehydration and heat exposure. The car was turned off, and they were occupied." I understood immediately. They had passed out while cheating. I felt nothing at first. No anger. No shock. Just a hollow silence that filled my chest like smoke. She cried harder when she saw my expression, not because she regretted anything, but because she'd been caught in the worst way possible. "Please," she begged. "Let me explain." I didn't look at her. I couldn't. Instead, I turned to the nurse. "Is she stable?" "Yes, sir," the nurse said. "She's fine." "Good." At least I didn't have to pretend to worry. I walked out of the ER room. She tried to follow, but the four tugged her back, and the nurse told her to sit down. I stood by the hallway window, breathing deeply, trying to gather all the pieces of me she had shattered. A doctor approached me. "You're her emergency contact. We need someone to fill out discharge papers." I nodded slowly. "Of course." I signed the forms. Then the doctor handed me one last paper, something I hadn't expected. "It's a statement," he said quietly, "from the first responder who found them. It explains the circumstances in case insurance won't cover it." I skimmed it. They hadn't just passed out. They'd been fighting in the car. He'd left the engine off. She'd locked the doors. Both had been too distracted arguing about me to realize the danger they were in. They nearly cooked themselves alive while discussing how to keep lying to me. That was the moment everything snapped into place. I didn't walk back into her room. I didn't want to hear her apologies, her fake tears, her rehearsed excuses. Instead, I handed the doctor the papers and said, "Please let her know her brother is picking her up." "I won't be." "Sir," the doctor said softly, "she asked for you." I swallowed the anger rising in my throat. She stopped being my responsibility when she made him hers. Then I walked out of the hospital into the cool night air, each step feeling lighter than the last. But when I got home, the real decision happened. I packed her things. Every single item she owned. Clothes, jewelry, shoes, the gifts I bought her, the letters she kept. All of it. I placed them in boxes and left them by the front door. Then I changed the locks, turned off her phone line, and shut down her access to our accounts. A few hours later, she called from her brother's phone, her voice shaky and desperate. "Please, say something," she cried. "I didn't mean for this to happen. It was a mistake. A stupid moment. I need you." "You needed him in that car," I said calmly. "Not me." "Don't do this," she screamed. "Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?" I stared at the packed boxes through the peephole as she pounded on the door. "You'll figure it out," I said. "Just like you figured out how to sneak around." She sobbed. "Please open the door." "No," I whispered. "This door doesn't open for you anymore." She cried for another 10 minutes, begging, apologizing, confessing everything she'd hidden. But by then, her words meant nothing. And as she finally walked away, defeated, dragging her suitcase behind her, I realized something. The ER didn't break her. losing access to the life she threw away did. And that was the real ending she earned.